Now the Japanese pressing companies. Hi, this is Takashi Nohara from Jazz Blues Japan. Yes, talking about the pressing companies. Even if the analog vinyl records are becoming popular nowadays, still the number of the pressing companies present in the world is not that big. There are not many pressing companies present now. Here in Japan, there are only two, pressing companies, which I will talk about today. But before I talk about those two companies, pressing companies, back in the 70s and 80s, that's the golden age of the analog records. I think that's the same trend, all over the world, not only here in Japan. But here in Japan, jazz records was selling like crazy, at that time. That's why most of you guys were able to acquire those great reissues of Blue Note by King Record, Toshiba EMI, Prestige Riverside by Victor Music Japan or Polydor, right? Yeah, those pressings were made during that time, golden age. But after that, as you know, the CD era came, and those companies, King Record, Toshiba EMI, Polydor, Victor Music Japan, they all shut down their own pressing facilities. Of course, during the golden age, 70s and 80s, they were making high quality analog records here in Japan. But because of the change of the trend, they stopped manufacturing the analog records by themselves. That's a sad story. I think the same as the other countries, even the US and the Europe, all over the world, the same, right? But still, right now we have two pressing companies, and one of them, they have been there making the analog records for more than 60 years. They started making the analog records in 1959, back in 1959, and until now they have never stopped manufacturing analog records. And let me tell you, the quality of the analog records that they are making is very high, the pressing quality, very good. And the company is called Toyo Kase. Toyo Kase is located in Kanagawa Prefecture, just next to Tokyo area. I'll put the link of the company down below here, so you will have a look at it. I don't know, they have an English version of the homepage, but maybe mainly, all of the pages are in Japanese. Sorry about it, but at least you will have a look at how they are making analog records, because they have been doing that business for over half a century. That's amazing, right? What I like about that company, Toyo Kase, is that they try to inherit their own skill set, skills to the younger generations. Even right now, they are recruiting young people, 20s and 30s to that, record manufacturing section, which I think is very good, And those guys, the senior guys, those guys who have been doing that business work for more than, let's say, 30 years, 40 years, were now teaching those young ones, their skills. That's amazing, right? So I think, Toyo Kase will be doing that business for many years to come, which I feel very, very comfortable and proud, So that company, Toyo Kase, is, I think it's an amazing company. One day I will have a visit to them, to thank them, really. And this is a kind of behind-scene story of Toyo Kase. But I will tell you, back in the 70s and 80s, CBS Sony Japan and Warner a pioneer. They had their own plants, in the 70s and 80s, but they let Toyokase to press their records at that time, 70s, up to I think 80s, early 80s. It is because Toyokase were making very high quality of pressings, vinyl records. And that's what they did. But the King and Toshiba, I believe, they were using their own plants. But sometimes, because of the high demand of the pressings, their own plants were not able to cater for that large volume of the pressings. So at that time, they used Toyokase to press their own records. So Toyokase is the expert of the experts in that arena, business arena. Yeah, and still right now, of course, they are making the high quality pressings. There is another story. You maybe remember, what I talked about the late Blue Note reissues by Toshiba EMI, the series called Rare Groove Collection. The quality of that Rare Groove Collection, the pressing quality, is very bad. What I call that series, notorious series, Rare Groove Collection series. The pressing quality, very poor. There are many pressing errors, and the noise issues is there. Of course, with some lucky copies, you will hear no noise, and maybe the pressing is very good, the quality may be acceptable. But most of the copies I obtained in the past, the quality very poor. The noise is there, and also if you look at the surface of the vinyl, there are many kind of errors, pressing errors, like protrusions and the rest, So the quality is very poor. And that time was the CD era. So what I was told by some of my friends, who are collectors, that at that time, because of the change of the trend, Toshiba EMI did not want to spend their expense on the analog record section. So the machines that they were using to press is worn out, and they didn't do any kind of maintenance. So the quality of their work itself was very, very poor, making those bad, low quality pressings. That's what I assume. But it is funny that after that Rare Groove collections, Toshiba EMI did a reissue of Blue Note again in the early 90s, around I think 1993, around that time, especially the mono reissues, BLP series. It is funny that the quality of the pressing became very good, not like the Rare Groove collections. So I think, and I believe, I think I'm right to say that they at that time used Toyokase to press those copies. That's why the pressing quality amazingly improved with those series. Yeah, that's what sure, it's quite different, the pressing quality improved drastically. So I don't think, Toshiba EMI at that time was using their own plant or their own engineers, but they used Toyokase plant and also engineers from Toyokase. Yeah, that's my assumption, and I think I'm right. Yes, that's Toyokase. And also there is another company here in Japan right now, is Sony Music, Oigawa pressing facility. But they started that factory, a facility in 2018, about 3 years ago, just recently. Sony at that time, decided to spend, I think, in US dollars, $2 million or something, to, to buy the machines and to hire the experts in making analog records again. And they just renovated their plant. That plant, Oigawa factory plant, has been there for many years, I think more than 30 years, but they didn't have that analog record pressing section. So in 2018, they made that section. And now they're making very high quality pressings. I think, nowadays, they were getting orders from outside of Japan. So they try to, focus on that, analog record pressing section right now, which I think is very good. And I also put that link, below for you to see how the facility looks like. So their quality control is very good, maybe you will have a look at their, the website. I don't know. It is only in Japanese. Maybe you will look into it. Maybe there is an English version of that site. Anyway, those are the two pressing companies right now here in Japan, which I'm proud of, as a Japanese, right? Next time, I don't know when, but in the near future, I will talk about the lacquer manufacturing company here in Japan, which I think is also very, very interesting. Oh, by the way, talking about the Toyokase, their main business, but nowadays, they have two main businesses. One is, analog record making, vinyl records, and also the other is the printing. They have a huge, printing facility too. That's also interesting approach, right? Yeah, printing business and also pressing facility. That is about Toyokase, right? Okay, that's it for today. I hope you like it. I believe this analog record trend will be continuing for many years to come, I think. The people are becoming digital nowadays, but still, we are human and we are analog, right? So, yeah, sometimes, downloaded music is good, very easy to listen, and you can put a lot of songs in a very small device like a smartphone and whatever. But still, it's you cannot compare. You cannot compare, using a turntable, amplifier, and a big speakers to listen to the vinyl records. It takes pain and it takes time and it takes money for you to listen to even the one record, side one and side two, and a lot of actions involved. But that's the beauty of analog records, and I love it, and also you guys love it too, right? So this trend, I hope and I believe, will be continuing for many years to come, right? That's it for today. I hope you like it, and yeah, I always appreciate you guys for supporting us, doing business with us. Yeah, I always keep praying and wishing you guys, family members, co-workers, everybody to be safe in this pandemic situation. Please continue staying safe. Thank you for watching today, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.